So in this video, we are going to summarize the first chapter, relations and functions. In that chapter, we have dealt with the types of relation. We dealt with empty relation. What do you mean by empty relation? A relation is called an empty relation if no element is related to, no element of a set is related to any element of set. The next one we dealt was universal relation. Universal relation is a relation in which each element of the set will be related to every other element of that set. Again, the next thing we dealt was reflexive relation. Reflexive relation, if I am taking a set R, A comma A, ordered pair A comma A, if it is an element of R for every A, then we can say that R is reflexive. Again, if A comma B element of R implies B comma A element of R, then R is said to be symmetric. Same way, if A comma B and another element B comma C element of R implies A comma C element of R, then R is said to be transitive. Then we dealt with the function. What was a function? A relation is said to be a function if each and every element of the first set has a unique image in the second set. Okay, we have dealt with the many types of functions. One was 1-1 function. What do you mean by 1-1 function? If I am taking two sets, for each element, corresponding to each element of the first set, there exists only one different images in the second set. Then the function is said to be 1-1 function. 1-1 for the element in the first set, there must be a unique image. That is a condition for the function, but distinct elements have distinct images in the second set. Then that type of function is called a 1-1 function. Then the next one we dealt was many-one function. What is that? For many elements in the first set, there exists the same image. This is many-one function. Then the next one we dealt was on-to function. What was an on-to function? If for each and every element in the second set, there is a pre-image in the first set, then it is called an on-to function. That means each and every element is an image of the first set. Otherwise, each and every element has a pre-image in the first set. Then it is called an on-to function. Otherwise, it is called an into function. So, 1-1 function, many-one function, into function and on-to function. And again, if a function is both 1-1 and on-to, then it is called a bijective function. If a function is both 1-1 and on-to, then it is called a bijective function. 1-1 function is termed by another name as injective function. On-to is termed as surjective function. And if it is to be a bijective function, it must be both 1-1 and on-to. To check whether a function is 1-1, how we will do? We will take the condition f of x1 equal to f of x2. And by simplification, if we are able to prove that x1 equal to x2, then we will come to the conclusion that f is 1-1. Okay, to check whether it is on-to or not, what we will do? A function will be defined in the question. Suppose that f of x is defined as 3 minus 4x. What we will do, instead of f of x, we will replace by y. Y is equal to 3 minus 4x, and we will find x from this equation. So 4x equal to 3 minus y and x is equal to 3 minus y by 4. If we are getting an element like this, we will check whether this element belongs to the domain of the given function f. We will check whether this element belongs to the domain of the given function f. If it belongs to the domain, we will come to the conclusion that f is on-to. Okay, to check 1-1, we will take f of x1 equal to f of x2 and prove that x1 equal to x2. To check on-to, take the given function, instead of f of x, replace by y, find the value of x, and if the value which we got as x is an element of the domain of the given function, then we will come to the conclusion that f is on-to. The next we dealt was composite of a function, composition of functions. So to define a composition, we need 3 sets. Let f be a function from the set A to set B, and g be a function from set B to set C. So if I am taking A an element of the first set, the image of A under f we will write as f of A. The image of A under f we will write as f of A. Now f of A is an element of the second set and the mapping is G. So if it is an element under G, under the mapping G or under the function G, this image of this f of a will be G of that element. That means G of f of a. Okay, composition function. If I am defining the composition function from C to A, the composition function is f composite G. Otherwise, if I want to define a function from A to C, the composition is G composite f. If I want to write G composite f of x, G composite f of x is defined as G of f of x. Okay, G composite f is a function from G composite f is a function from A to C and is defined as G composite f of x is equal to G of f of x. G composite f is a function from A to C, which is defined as G composite f of x is equal to G of f of x. Again, if we want to find the inverse of a function, or if we want to check whether the function is invertible, what we will do? We will find G composite f and we will find f composite G. If G composite f and f composite G, we are getting the identity function, we will come to the conclusion that f is the inverse of G. Otherwise, G is the inverse of f. Okay, we will find f composite G composite f. G composite f must be the identity function of in terms of x. And f composite G must be identity function in terms of y, where f is a function from x to y and G is a function from y to x. If these two conditions holds, we can say that it has an inverse. Inverse of f is denoted by f inverse. Okay, inverse of f is denoted by f inverse. For a function to have an inverse, it must be both 1, 1 and onto. All functions doesn't have inverse, only a function which is both 1, 1 and onto. That means if it is bijective, then it has an inverse. And the last portion we dealt was the binary operation. Usually the binary operation is denoted by star. Binary operation means we have to operate with the two elements, and we checked whether the binary operation is whether the given operation is a binary operation, whether it is commutative, whether it is associative, and we had find the identity element and also the inverse. To check the commutative property, what we will do, we will check whether A star B is equal to B star A or not. Star is the given definition of the function. Again, to check the associative property, what we will do, we will check whether A star B star C is equal to A star B star C. If these two are equal, we will come to the conclusion that star is associative. To find the identity element, we will take E as the identity element, and what we will do, we will put the condition A star E is equal to A is equal to E star A. If you are able to find an E such that A star E equal to A equal to E star A, then E is called the identity element. For each and every element, the identity elements remain the same. That means for a set, the identity element is unique, the same for all the element. Okay. Again, we found out the inverse. To find the inverse, what we will do is, we will take the inverse as A dash or B. Let it be B. Let B be the inverse of A. Then, if we are getting the condition A star B equal to E, what is E? The identity function is equal to B star A. If we are getting a B so that A star B equal to E equal to B star A, then we can say that B is the inverse of A. And in the case of inverse, for each and every element, the inverse are different. If I am taking A, it is having an inverse. If I am taking another element A1, it will be having some other inverse. For each and every element, different inverses are there. But in the case of identity, for one set, there is a single identity element. Identity is unique. Identity element is the same for all the elements, but inverse varies. Inverse of each and every element is there. Okay, but in identity exists for a set, inverse exists for each and every element.